Hi everyone, I'm Meteorologist John Dissauer. Thanks for checking out my blog, New at Dissauer. It is about 10:45 on Saturday, January 8th. Talking about a little bit of winter weather coming our direction. This will be kind of quick because I've got to get home and I've got to come back in for the breakfast show tomorrow morning, so I'll be coming back in around 4 a.m. We got winter weather advisories in effect for some of our southern counties. That does include northeast Arkansas, the Missouri Boot Heel, and northwestern Tennessee. That is in effect until, or from 6 p.m. Sunday through 6 a.m. Monday. Notice just to the south we've got winter storm warnings that have been issued now by the National Weather Service in Memphis, and over towards Nashville they have winter storm watches in effect. The reason for that is this storm that's down to our southwest through San Antonio. In fact, look at all the moisture already showing up with this storm, and it hasn't even tapped into the Gulf just yet. This is all coming out of Mexico and will begin to turn to the east and track off to the east if forecast models are correct. Here's our latest precision cast, and you'll see how the bulk of the storms are down to our south and they keep moving eastward, but moisture gets streamed up over the top of that and is thrown up our direction, and we already have cold air in place, so whatever falls is going to be all snow at this point. But notice the big key I wanted you to see with this is that we're just being brushed on the northern edge of this, so we're not going to see the brunt of it. Nashville, Atlanta, Birmingham, Huntsville, Alabama, those places are going to see a lot of snow out of the system, and then also the Carolinas. I've seen some forecasts from the Weather Service upwards of 6 or 7 inches of snow possible across northeastern Georgia. Here's one of the forecast models I like to look at, the European model. It's going to show all green for the precip, but this is all snow events, so don't be concerned about it being green. It's going to be all snow. Here we are at 6 o'clock Sunday evening. Notice by midnight it just begins to move it into the Missouri Boot Heel as the storm passes to the south, and then it lifts it up a little further to the north, and by 8 a.m. this is where we're at as the system begins to exit the area. Excuse me. Here's one of our precision cast models from the 0Z run of the RPM forecast model, and to be honest with you, I've not been too happy with the RPM as to how it's handling this snow event. Not at all, actually. By 9:30 Monday morning, it's got 1/10 of an inch of snow in Poplar Bluff and 1/4 of an inch in Murray and 4/10 in Martin. Now, what I think could happen, I think generally, let's draw a line here from around Poplar Bluff over here to Mayfield and down towards Murray. South of this area is where we're going to see mainly the snow. There could be some spots north of that line that could see a dusting to maybe a 1/2 inch. I think generally we're talking probably 1.5 inches or up to 1.5 inches of snow over the Missouri Boot Heel, perhaps upwards of 2.5 inches across northwestern Tennessee, and about 1.5 inches over Callaway County and from Murray into the south. So basically my thinkings that are on my blog from this morning are still about the same as far as snowfall amounts. Also earlier today I was talking about there being a second round coming in for Monday night to Tuesday morning, and that still looks to be the case. So I'll go ahead and run this out here and show you the snow that comes in. I think we could see anywhere from 1 to maybe 3.5 inches of snow, maybe some local spots of 4 inches, not out of the question. Again, the RPM is I just not think it's doing very good with this snow or this system at all. But I think we could easily see 2 to 3 with some 3.5, maybe localized 4 amounts in southern Illinois. So generally from around Cape Girardeau into the north. Maybe in Cape we're talking 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Farmington maybe 2 inches of snow. And then the higher amounts I think will be across southern Illinois and southwestern Indiana as that then moves off to the east. Again, this is all subject to change. That's if these models are all handling this correctly. Now that the storm is forming and it starts to move off to the east, tomorrow morning's runs of the models will get a pretty good look at what's going on. And we'll be able to fine-tune the forecast as we get closer to it. The one thing that will be interesting about this, though, is the fact that the snow initially will come from our southern counties, which oftentimes have a harder time dealing with the snow just because you don't get it very often, and the northern counties will be fine. But then when we come in from Monday to Tuesday, more snow will most likely come from that for our northern counties, and the southern counties won't see anything. So that is the latest from here in the Storm Team Center. Thanks again for checking out my blog. By the way, a couple new things on my blog. If you look at the top of the page, there's a couple new tabs. There's one for radar, where you can look at the interactive radar now on the site. Also, where you can see watches and warnings right there on your desktop. You just click on the county, and it will pop up all the text from the Weather Service is on there as well. So thanks again for checking out my website, and hope you have a great night.